Scores rise like morning sun, chasing points, the game's begun. Big decisions week by week, fantasy glory's what we seek. Pick your squad, the clock won't wait. Captain choice will seal your fate. Two enthusiasts breaking it down. Fantasy kings, we're taking the crown.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Tinker Time, an FPL pod, the show for every fantasy Premier League manager who's already second-guessing their 12th draft. It's Tuesday, November 25th, 2025, and whether you're wildcarding after Week 12 or just here to scout some differentials, you've come to the right place. I'm Matt, alongside Jim, and we're here to help you tweak, test, and yes, tinker your way to the top of your mini-leagues. We'll break down the best value picks, fixture trends, and hidden gems, so you don't have to stare at your squad screen in despair. So let's pop the hood, crack open the spreadsheet, and get tinkering. Jim, welcome back. It has been a tough go this past game week, I will
Feels
say.
like it's lived an entire age.
Before we get into the game week, I know we said last episode, you were gonna tell our listeners what you were thankful for. I know what you're thankful for, but our listeners don't. So maybe we kick the episode off with some positive vibes.
It's easy. I am thankful for love.
Always.
I don't know what else you could say that you're thankful for. Is there anything greater than love in this world? It kind of puts things in perspective that, we come on, we have fun, we a little banter, but this doesn't matter. If you're right, you're wrong, at the end of the day. I'm thankful for love.
Did you hear that? That was a bunch of listeners just closing the podcast up. But
They've already done that.
Well, in case you were wondering, and that has been your answer for at least the last 9 years.
I think I'm probably 10 or 11 at this point.
Yeah, maybe double digits. So you've been.
I mean, do you have anything that's
better than love?
It's out of sight, my man.
It's out of sight. I don't know if there's anything better than love. I don't know if I can top that. I will say.
What are you thankful for, though?
I am thankful for, man, maybe the internet. The internet just keeps on delivering.
The internet is really funny.
It's really funny.
What a time to be alive.
We are living in history right now. Is what a time to be alive. Let me just put it that way. So, maybe
They
that's
say
what
history.
I'm thankful for this
They
year.
say history repeats itself, and there's always been, upheaval about who's in office and which party is doing this and that. But they never had X the Everything app that you could just go to and really just let your guard down. Get surprised.
Just let your mind wander, let your troubles subside, and of course, we're thankful for our families and our kids and whatnot.
Well, I said I was, yeah. But you said the internet, so.
No. That must have gotten edited out. It's okay. Yeah, I mean, we could either do one of two things. We could either give our listeners what they want, which is probably talking about the secret lives of Mormon wives, or we can talk FPL. Should we go FPL this week? What do you think?
I'm not fully caught up to this season so far. So against Zach. What a
man. To me, it came out today that apparently she was partaking and drinking her husband's urine, calling it pretty pebbles or something like that. I got to check my sources, but Jesse's a snitch.
I think you got that backwards, but who knows?
Neither here nor there. But you know what I do know? I do know what happened this game week. We had some time to kind of, absorb and kind of digest the outcomes this week. Starting off, with the first fixture on Saturday, Chelsea-Burnley. No blues for Chelsea. They finished the weekend in second place. Who would have thought it?
Yeah, not me, for sure. They've just been scratching and clawing, cobbling together lineups. They're just an FPL disaster, but they're climbing the table. Well, what are you going to say?
Yeah.
Your man Neto
we'll get into it.
Another.
Neto got another. João Pedro did not continue his form. Oh, and by the way, I think we might have forgotten to mention this. This is a special episode. This is the return of the Mega App. The Mega App. Coincidentally enough, 10 episodes from our last Mega App. So I don't know if maybe every 10 episodes will turn into a Mega App, but So yeah, we'll go through the fixtures, and then we'll also go into our deadline preview for game week 13. It's pretty crazy,
Yeah,
but yeah, coming back to the game week 12 recap. Uh, yeah, nice opening, fixture for Neto owners. If you had Joe Pedro on your team, kind of just going back to game week 10 where you're frustrated, uh, not getting the return, the haul that maybe you would have wanted. For Caicedo owners, not getting the start was probably
brutal.
frustrating. Did you fall in that boat?
Yeah, I did, and it was doubly brutal because Enzo got himself the goal. So
Mm, mm,
sometimes you just can't win.
yeah, yeah.
Probably doubly frustrating for Chelsea fans, though. Cole Palmer broke his foot, stubbing his toe at home.
What do you make of that? I mean, these injuries just keep piling up for Cole. I mean,
So, the commissioner, we were together on Saturday. His thoughts are, and shout out, this is all credit to him. He's thinking it's a conspiracy that he's just biding his time till the summer so he could leave, go to Spain. He's done with Chelsea.
wow,
I can
wow,
see it. I can see it.
that would be.
What has he
I
played?
mean,
Four games this year?
they certainly have the squad depth to handle that departure. I mean, they're in second place, like I mentioned, and Cole has really not had any contribution to speak of this season.
Yeah, he's played 3 matches, started 2. Right, didn't he
What?
come back and then leave injured?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I mean, does he have any goal contributions this
He
season?
he he has a goal, yeah.
One goal. Okay, was it a
Yeah,
penalty?
it was not.
Okay. So, he has more goals in open play than Arsenal, but we'll talk about that later.
Either way,
Um,
Chelsea getting it
yeah,
done without him. To be fair, it was Burnley, but they're getting the points.
yeah, yeah.
Second on the table.
Ugh. Moving on to the second game of the weekend. Bournemouth, they went down early. They did fight back, however, to snag a point. I think the big story with this game, so Semenyo was not in the squad. There was some reports that he was, obviously came out from the international break with a little bit of a knock. There were some reports that he actually was not injured and he came back healthy, but for him to not be in the starting lineup and not even featured in the squad. He's flagged with an ankle injury in FOTMOB. For one, I was one of those managers who I moved out to Menu early when I saw that international break
See,
news. So I don't want to say I was happy that he was not in the squad, but
you're rooting for injuries now?
I wasn't rooting for an injury, but I will say that I got a little bit of vindication that my transfer move, even if the people that I brought in didn't return, and we'll get into that, but it's not like Semenyo, came in and he, snagged a brace or anything like that, and I had kind of buyer's remorse. So yeah. What was your take on this game?
I think the biggest take is Callum Wilson. 2 goals
Mm,
against a Bournemouth squad that's been playing well. I mean, clean sheets haven't been their forte, but they've been a tough team all season. But Wilson coming in, 2 goals in the first half, probably making a push to stay in the starting lineup. I mean, what else does West Ham have to play for? They're tied for the last relegation spot. So I don't even. What's his price at?
that's a good question.
Let's take a look
Uh,
here. 5.8.
That's pretty cheap.
Not bad, but they do have Liverpool, United, Brighton next 3 games. So
4 goals on the season, 3 in his last 2 games. And he's not getting the full 90. He's got 65, 60, 70, and 51 minutes played in his last 4. So I mean, he is getting the start. In it now, is Fulkrug injured, or is he just kind of fallen out of favor um,
Fulkrug
with
was
Nuno?
not, but Paqueta was. Paqueta was suspended, so maybe that's why he's getting the.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know,
Interesting,
but I think
interesting.
he's obviously at this point he's definitely going to be higher than Fulkrug and pecking order.
Yeah. I think we talked about it last episode too. Like, I don't know if we're necessarily ready to call any West Ham players an asset just yet.
Yeah,
Switching gears back over to Bournemouth, Senesi, the previous, DEFCON king who kind of lost his form a little bit. Bournemouth haven't been keeping clean sheets the last few games. He hadn't been getting his DEFCON points the last couple of games, but he did snag an assist this game. I'm very curious what that, halftime locker room or dressing room, what that speech from Iriola may have looked like for them to go down 2-0 in basically the first, Wilson scored his goal in the 11th minute, 35th minute. I don't know if Iriola just kind of ripped into them, but for them to have the form that they had to start the season, to then kind of a nosedive, frankly, to go down 2-0
Yeah.
against West Ham. But nice to see them turn it around. In a weird way, as a FPL perspective, I almost wish that they continued that nosedive because it would have made it a little bit easier to move off those assets and feel confident about it. But if they're going to continue to return, then maybe there's a place for them in our squads.
Yeah, he did get the assist, but 2 goals plus a yellow card, so he finished with 3 points. So
Not great.
not great. Not helping his case.
Yeah. Moving on to this game had to be fun for you. The Birds and the Bees. We talked about that. I'm curious how that conversation went with your daughters. Your 3 favorite players: Tiago, Welbeck, and Minta. Now I know you wrote all of them off in our last
No,
episode.
no, no,
Maybe
no,
not.
no,
Maybe
no.
not Tiago. Maybe not Tiago. But Welbeck and Minta. You. I don't want to.
I'll
I'm
say
just
it.
gonna say it. You kind of said that you didn't want them, you didn't like them, you weren't buying them, and this was the game where, like, you kind of had to eat your words a little bit.
I did. I said I put all the chips in. I went all in. Welbeck scored, of course. Assisted by Minta.
Yeah.
Doubly difficult. I'm out of chips.
Double your
Uh,
pleasure, double the fun.
I'm out of chips. Not FPL chips, but metaphorical chips. Yeah, I think this game killed me.
Mm.
Morally, I'm dead.
Spiritually, sexually, uh, yeah. This was so. I've been like your medicine.
What a suck.
Oh boy. Yeah, so Thiago snagged another penalty. I think we have to check how many penalties he's converted on the season, but he snagged one in the 29th minute. Penalty was saved. I think it was in the 94th minute, so he actually could have had even a
Yeah.
bigger haul. No reason to think he's going to be taken off penalties. I think this was really just a case of, Verbruggen had 2 penalties on the same player in the same game, didn't get beat twice. Like you mentioned, Welbeck scored in the 71st, and Hinshelwood scored in the 84th, but Minta had assists on both goals. So, I think I saw some stat now. Minta, as I think he's only 21 years old. I think he has like something like 7 goals and 8 assists. He's getting up there with like Dele Alli as far as, some of the most like goal contributions for a 21-year-old in his first like 15 games or something like that, 15 appearances, which was surprising to me because I feel like he's kind of going under the radar. I don't know if that's because he's sitting at Brighton. I think I also saw a stat, and I wasn't sure if this was made up, and I didn't take the time to look into it. But in Brighton's last 240 matches, they are 80, 80, and 80, which is
Well, that's fun.
like I think that kind of fits the Brighton bill perfectly because, like we say all the time, like they're either very good or very bad, and we kind of never know what we're gonna get from them.
But they're never really in risk of going down. Like they're
Yeah,
always right in the middle.
yeah.
Just,
So
do you think
yeah,
people aren't as high in Minta because they don't know how to pronounce his first name?
I don't even know if he has a first name.
It's pretty
What is his
disrespectful.
first name? Yankuba. Yeah. That's on paper that's a pretty easy one, but maybe there's something more to it. I'm not sure. Um mm,
Well,
we'd have to look into that.
I'm gonna say it right now. Moving forward, I'm gonna be the biggest Yankuba Minta fan. I have to. I refuse to do
You
it for
I
Welbeck.
think you have to.
I won't do it for Welbeck.
I'm curious what his ownership is at right now. Because I think we saw it when we looked at price rises at the end of last episode. I think he was on the rise. So he's at 6.1 right now. We'll take a quick look at price changes towards the later end of this episode. But he's at
Owned by
6.1 right
6.6.
now, owned by 6.6. You got to imagine that's going to go up.
Forest, Villa, West Ham, next 3. It's a
Yeah. I mean,
good. I mean, as a huge Minta guy, I don't know how you can not bring him in.
yeah, if you look at total midfielder points, he's tied for 3rd with Eze, Bomo. Yeah. So, I mean, he's kind of cementing himself as I don't love to throw the essential tag around, but he's hard
He's
to avoid at this point.
he's not essential, but he's a must-have for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. All right. I mean, we're kind of just glossing over Tiago, but again, another
It's
Another
tough because
return.
it's tough because there's 2 penalties, but still,
But penalties count.
he's in there. Yeah. No, I know, but
Priced at 6.5. He's up to 16.3.
he's
You look at his fixture run. So he's
he
got
got 9
Burnley
goals
next
on
week.
9 goals on the season is pretty good
9 already. That's
with a missed penalty.
with the missed penalty. I mean,
4 of
that's
them are penalties.
how many does
No,
Holland have?
sorry. Yeah, I take that back. I take that back. That was Brentford's total goals.
Holland has 14. I mean, Thiago's got to have the second most goals on the season easily, right? I mean, without going and looking, it's
I
got
mean,
to
go
be
on, go.
Holland and then Thiago, right? Let's go take a quick one.
Yes.
Goals scored, yes.
And then you know
and then
who's
you know
third?
who's in third? Danny Welbeck. You some bitch. Yeah,
And
that one's got to be tough. for
Yankuba
you.
Minta tied for first for assists with 4.
Yeah, I mean, right?
I mean, Quindle Shea Hartman, another guy I'm high on.
God bless you. That's yeah. Thiago's fixture run. Just taking a quick look at it. You know, they got Burnley next week, and they play Arsenal and Spurs in 14 and 15. But then 16 Leeds, 17 Wolves. So, you know, 3, arguably 4 out of their next 5 fixtures, not unattractive from a fixture difficulty rating, put it that way.
Yeah.
So, you know, and with all those free transfers coming up for AFCON,
I wouldn't bring him in if you don't have Welbeck, though. You want Welbeck.
don't
for
have
sure.
Welbeck. Yeah, Danny boy, little boy, pretty boy, I need you.
Next game, Fulham 1, Sunderland 0. This is, I'll say it, hand up, another one.
It's just continued
Another
the
forward I
trend.
threw under the bus. Raul Jimenez, 84th minute goal. I mean, what's the guy supposed to do here?
This one, I think,
He's 1 goal in the season the week after I trashed him.
yeah. And to be fair, I don't think this would have. I think I kind of baited you into this one because he was a topic of conversation in the differential discussion, which
Mhm.
he really had no business even being a topic of conversation in the differential discussion, other than, you know, he fit the bill as a differential. But, you know, that's not that hard. Less than 10%. You know, that's pretty much it.
I mean, he was what, 0.2,
I think
0.8?
it was 0.9. I can't imagine it's moved much since then. Just taking a quick look. Raul Jimenez priced at 6.2. So
1 by 0.9.
yeah, 0.9%. You know, it does have 2 goals and 2 assists on the season. I mean, that's not that bad.
Yeah, he's a good player. He's a good player.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to bring him in this week.
Man, your team's going to look phenomenal this week.
Making a lot of moves.
This next take, do you want to say it or do you want me to say it?
Next take.
Well, next game. Next
Oh.
next fixture of the week.
I'll take it because I was wrong again here.
Hmm.
Liverpool officially suck ass.
Mm.
Isak,
Yeah.
another blank after I brought him in. They lose 3-0 to Forest, who I think we said last week, we don't even know who they are as a team. And here they come and put 3 away at Anfield. Gibbs White, who I think I called out and said, I think, whatever.
I think the only thing you called out about him was you weren't sure if he was going to start.
Yes. And he started and scored a goal.
Yeah, which, you know, not really a call out. It's more of a, you know, an uncertainty. But you
I
know.
did put my chips in on Isak. He was my big transfer to replace Sheshko. He lasted 68 minutes and got replaced by Chiesa. That's like a slap in the face.
Yeah, I think he only had like 2 touches in the opposition box the entire time he was on the pitch too. I think there was
Let's
some
see.
discussion.
5.5 rating in the game.
That's
low.
low. That's really low. Touches in the opposition box, 2. 14 touches.
0 dribbles completed.
He was dispossessed twice. So you can assume that both times he had the ball in the opposition box, he was dispossessed. You know, not what you want from your record-setting transfer striker, the best striker in the world.
He's been so bad.
He hasn't even shown up. I mean, this is. Can you really even say that he's been bad? I don't even think you can say he's been anything.
Yeah, he's been bad. He's been bad for Sweden too.
Sweden.
And I brought in Slivasly.
I like that move though.
He got 3 put away on him, so
yeah.
He started right back, which
yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna say. I don't know what Arne is gonna do. I think the last I saw, the board is backing him. I don't think he's really at risk unless he has the same run of form for the next 7 or 8 games. I think they're going to back him. I think he's going to be around. I think they're going to give him the leash to work out of this rut. But
Did you see who
I,
the name was floated out there if he does get canned?
it was Ange, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that would be. I mean, they're not scoring goals, so I could kind of see them saying like, bring in the guy who likes to score goals. Like, the defense isn't playing defense anyway, so what's the difference?
Yeah, but look what he did with Spurs and Forest.
Yeah,
No goals.
well, he won a trophy for Spurs. Yeah,
Not by scoring
no,
goals.
not by scoring goals. Listen, we talked about it. It's wild to think that with the fixture run and whatnot, but you can't touch Liverpool right now.
What would you say to somebody who just recently brought in 2 Liverpool assets?
I would say
Please say hold.
I like the Szoboszlai move. I think if there was somebody that you knew, or in theory, somebody that may have brought him in, I don't think that's a bad move. I think he needs to play his position. I don't think him playing right back is the key to success there.
Agree.
I know injuries and whatnot kind of force some weird things with the lineup, but
I mean, Chris Jones starting over? It's just like
Mike Jones. Yeah, I mean that's wrong. Maybe they go start like Andy Robertson back there on the left back because like I don't know what Kirkes is doing and it just
Yeah.
whatever. But and Isak,
well,
I don't.
they're gonna have to play him, right? Because Verts is now hurt. He's gonna be out
Yes.
for like 2 months, I think. 7
Well,
weeks.
do they have to play him? Let's think about this, right? So if Salah is cemented on the right, and if they really do commit to a midfield of Gravenberch, McAllister, and Szoboszlai, they
I
have
guess they could play
Gakpo.
Ekitike up top instead of him.
Right. So, I mean, they obviously have to do some rotation with European competitions.
But when Salah leaves, they'll have to.
When he goes to his sarcophagus. I don't know. I don't know.
Bonton, the sun god.
Yeah, it's like on one side, I love that they're struggling. I mean, I still have Salah in my squad. I'm waiting for him to break out, and I don't know. I mean, would it be crazy to just move on from him and go to Minta this week?
No,
Maybe not.
Minta's the 3rd best midfielder in the game.
Yeah, I
The
know.
stats are there. On the other side, anything to say about Forest?
What can you say about Forest? Like you said, I think
Honestly, I
it's still
still
too
don't know
early.
who they are, apart from Gibbs.
Yeah,
I think
Gibbs White. I agree with you. Murillo's not really your source of goals. Nico Williams he's always going to be that. He's going to get forward, but I don't know.
Who
I
did
don't
Murillo
really.
who did Murillo
It's
used to
too
play?
early.
Wasn't
mean,
there a
they're
Murillo on Leicester one year?
there was Wes Morgan on Leicester.
Yeah, that's nowhere close to Murillo, so
Yeah. No, I don't. I mean, I'm trying to think of. Did he play on? I don't know if he played on Leicester.
he
I'd have
did
to go
not.
to-
Oh well.
yeah. I don't know.
But yeah, other Forest, maybe wait and see. Maybe Gibbs White is there, but give Dyche some
Not
more
yet.
time.
You're not yet.
Can I put my hand
Moving
up for the next
on.
one as well?
Yeah. Let's hear it.
So Wolves lose.
Can we just
Not a
hold
big
on before
surprise.
you do that? Can we give the listeners some context? So I think at one point was it at the end of Saturday's fixtures? You only had six total points after I think
I got 5 players and 6 points,
5 players and 6 points. That's a tough
including
week, including a captain. Which the Mateta captain. Well, let's talk about it. Go ahead.
So the Palace wins 2-0. Good win.
Good win.
The 2 offensive players we've been backing and touting here going into this nice fixture run, Sard, Mateta, both blank. I gave the captain armband to Mateta. He didn't even make it 60 minutes. So I got 2 points out of him. I'd say it's comical, but it's honestly just, if you could take the opposite of what I say for every bet, you'd be a very rich little boy over there, Matt.
It is so good that you are only an enthusiast because
I know.
and myself because man, we would
Imagine if I
lose
was
all
an expert.
credibility. Oh my god.
Imagine if I
Yeah,
was in
I
like a
mean,
big money FPL league.
like $1,000 buy-in.
That would be well held.
That'd be crazy. On the Wolves side, I mean, anything to mention?
No. Move on.
On Palace side, like you said, nice result
Actually,
for Palace fans.
Can we pause? 'Cause
Let's pause.
I want to give you credit. You said, are Wolves becoming a trap because
Yeah, I did.
our team's not even going to play their best the squad against them, so
Yeah.
we can't actually bank on teams scoring against them because they're gonna give their best
Right.
players rest. It's a very real possibility.
It's definitely possible. I mean, I think Sar. Let's talk about Sar for. Let's talk about him first. Sar all season seems to he seems to get his attacking contributions in the European competitions. He doesn't seem to get them in the Premier League games. I don't know why. That has been kind of his bugaboo all season. I don't know why. So that was kind of consistent. Mateta getting 59 minutes was just like the biggest salt crystal in the wound ever for you personally
It's
and for
burning.
just
They weren't even winning at that point.
no. I know. I actually I went and I looked back and I was like, this was I don't want to say a close game, but they were not winning. Like, I mean, I get that he maybe he was a little tired from the international break, playing in those fixtures, but
He didn't play the full time.
no, he didn't. He didn't. So, but he trained really hard. Um,
That's true.
yeah,
Practice fields where you make the squad.
yeah. And then the other piece that kind of pissed me off with this fixture. So, it was just a week ago. Glasner was saying that, Gahey's in a walking boot. He can't put any pressure on it. He can't even walk. And then
Yeah.
this week he starts. He captains the squad and he plays 90. Like, give me a break.
You did get a
Um,
yellow.
He got a yellow, which means he was aggressive. Like, give me a break. That's a mind game there, which I did not appreciate. But Palace defense held strong. Was got his goal, which rewarded managers who decided to pay the premium for the Palace defender instead of maybe going with a Richards or a Gahey or a Lacroix. So Palace have been pretty solid all season, especially from the defense.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Just not the goals we wanted,
goals we wanted.
goals we deserved. Next one, final game
Next
on
one.
Saturday.
Yeah, this was a fun one. I think this was honestly like the first game that was really like watchable. Not even just because of the time that the game was on, but two teams, really high expectations, City and Newcastle. City with that, really strong attack, and by attack I mean Holland, and Newcastle with that really strong defense. Ironically enough, City had a tough time scoring, and Newcastle, Barnes put two past. Ruben Diaz scored one, but this was a really fun game to watch. A lot of back and forth there, kind of towards the second half. What do you make of this game?
I did see some of this one. Um, I think City missed a lot of chances. Foden had a nice one that he really could have put away to end the first half. He looks good, but just not finishing. I don't know. It's kind of the same story. Their midfield is just not contributing enough offensively. Everything has to go through Holland, and in a game like this where Holland blanks, they just they can't keep a clean sheet. They really haven't been great at clean sheets going back to last year. So it's like they're really relying on the goals, but the goals aren't coming from everywhere like we've seen in the past with Pep's team.
Right.
Everything's going through Holland, and today they just didn't have it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think lots of FPL implications, I think, for this game. Lots of owners, lots of managers owning Nick Pope, Voltamade. I would say probably not so much Harvey Barnes. I think his minutes may have been in question. Maybe not so much recently with Anthony Gordon.
He had
So that one
another goal today midweek as well.
he did, yeah. So he's in some good form. It's just a matter of if he's going to get the minutes. And then oh, go ahead. What do you want to say?
I'm probably gonna say the same thing on the other side. Baba O'Reilly got the start again. I think we were having
Yeah,
that same conversation. O'Reilly versus Doku.
yeah,
He gets it.
yeah.
Guardiola plays center back. I don't know. Kuznov did not play, but he played today midweek. Nori was on the
Lots of
bench this
rotation.
weekend. So it's maybe he's just starting to work them all back in, and eventually we'll see something shake out like an expected lineup, but still just too tough to proceed. I would imagine buying anybody, but I'm just an enthusiast too.
Breaking it down.
Yeah, I'm focused on just blowing out my midfield to be able to get Minta in. So I really want to
Focus
talk
on
defense.
focus on doing what to your midfield?
Getting Minta in. He's the third best midfielder in the game.
I'm sorry. This is a kids podcast, kids rated podcast. I heard there was some questionable behavior from Pep after this match. Did you see anything about that?
I did not.
No.
Enlighten me.
No, I didn't actually see what it was. I think he had to issue like an apology for maybe his reaction. I'm assuming he was probably not thrilled with the outcome of the match. But I'll have to go to the X and see what was all about.
I don't know. One last game to mention on Saturday: LAFC 2, Vancouver Whitecaps 2. The 7 Young Men. Did you see his goal? It was
I
actually
didn't.
It was his second of the day. He had a direct free kick in the 5th minute to tie it up. What a beaut! But then he lost. He missed his penalty in the shootout, so
It's
they
just
are
so
not moving
nice
as
to
a
see him smile. Like when he plays happy, it's hard to beat.
Yeah, and he got a haircut, so you could like really see his face more now. So all right, Sunday, Leeds 1, Villa 2. Hand up again, wrong. Morgan Rogers, Morgan Rogers with 2 goals. I said to bring in Emiliano Buendia for him,
Yeah,
and then he gets 2. Yet again, Jim's wrong.
yeah. You're in the right realm. You're just,
Talking about similar players, just never get the right one.
right, right. Yeah, it's close but no cigar, I think is the phrase.
You could lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink it.
You got to make them drink it. Yeah, Villa continue to roll here. Granted, Leeds not necessarily top tier defense, but they've got the firepower to put some goals past. But Villa have been in great form. We talked about it. Villa they really need that. They need someone to step up and kind of be that attacking threat. They're still waiting for Watkins to kind of come into form or show any sort of form. If Rodgers can be that player that can tap into some of his form from last season, watch out. Villa, I think, we'll take a look at the table. Where are Villa sitting right now? I think they've quietly moved right on up into Champions League qualification. They're sitting in 4th. So obviously it's super early, but
And it's
they've
so
made
tight,
quite a leap.
so tight up there.
It is. We like it tight though.
So Liverpool is in 12th place with 18 points, and Villa is in 4th place with 21. So 8 teams are within 1 game of 4th place. That's tight.
Speaking of 18 points, we could talk about a team who also has 18 points, who played their worst game, and this is not an exaggeration. Their worst game.
This is true. Let's emphasize this.
This is confirmed. Played their worst game in 10 years. There was a little derby up in North London, as you heard, Spurs and the Gunners. I will give them their Gunners nomenclature. They took it to us. I don't know, if you saw the presser leading up where, one of the pundits asked Thomas Frank, what do you think about Eze? And his response was basically like, who's Eze? He might have said it a little facetiously, but sometimes that's all a player needs to light a little fire. Is that a first hat trick? I thought I saw that. The first hat trick in North London Derby history? Or it's been a while, at least, right? I think there was
I don't know. I didn't see that.
some stat about that. Yeah, I was having a great day on Sunday. Had the family over. We made some homemade ravioli, a little Sunday sauce, some meatballs,
Mamma
some garlic
mia.
bread, a little salad. Yeah, it was quite the little operation we had here. A little Sangiovese, a little red vino, not white wine. I got that joke too. Yeah, no, seriously, not exaggerating. Spurs have played 392 games since the start of the 2015-2016 season. The game that they played this past game week, they had 3 shots, which ranked 390th out of those 392. They had an expected goal of .07, which ranked 391st. 4 touches in the opposition box, which ranked 391st. 120 passes in the opposition's half, which ranked 383rd. And 52 passes in the final third, which ranked 387th. So we are not exaggerating. They really had maybe the worst game in the last 10 years, and maybe only topped by their performance against Bournemouth and Chelsea this season. Those were also probably in the top 10, bottom 10 performances in the last 10 years also. So
Yeah. I think it's safe to say Xavi's been a flop, and we got duped there.
yeah, it was a really interesting lineup Frank deployed. And on Javi, he obviously didn't start, but I have a little bone to pick with Declan Rice. I really did not appreciate the hit that he put on Javi there. That was a dirty play, and then the
Should have
knee
been
to
a
the
red.
back of the
Should have
head
been a red.
should have been a red. I mean, clear cut. I don't know how that's not a red. Even I guess real time things are moving quickly, but it looked bad, slowed down. Not saying that that would have turned the game around. I think the game was obviously in hand at that point, but I think this was a case, frankly, of Thomas Frank just kind of overthinking it. We haven't really played a back three with Van de Ven, Danzo, and Romero all season.
To not play Poro is, I mean, like, that's just
Yeah, I
absurd.
I was thinking about that, and the only thing I could come up with was what is Poro going to really do other than maybe put some crosses in the box, and who's there to really receive those? Is Richie going to be able to put a head on those? Probably not.
He's better. He's our starting right back. Why is he?
I hear you. I hear
It
you.
doesn't matter
But
if nobody's there to get crosses. Why would you play
yeah,
somebody out of position over him
yeah. Well, I
in
mean,
the derby?
Spence, I think he is in position to be, or at least in conversation to be starting right back for England, or maybe second choice. But yeah, I weird game, but you know, take it on the chin. Arsenal were the better team. But we said it even going into it on paper, like positionally. I don't think there was a single player that matched up where Arsenal were lacking. So the result really didn't surprise me, but it was just kind of the fact that it was really just non-competitive.
Yeah, tough fun to watch. Not that I watch it. I was spending time with the people I love. Again, some things are more important than sports.
Thankful for them.
Yeah, some people like this one.
And that brought us to our final game of the week, Everton and United. This was an interesting one. So the Toffees were able
Yes,
to survive a self-inflicted wound. I will admit, even with the day off between the last fixture and our record, I did not find time to watch the clip in detail. But from what I understand, there was an altercation between Gueye and Michael Keane. But I to be very honest, most of the time when I would look for the clip, it was a bunch of AI videos of the two of them just like beating the crap out of each other, and I was like, "This is not real." Can you
yeah.
I
So,
mean, what actually happened?
guy basically gave the ball away to United. They almost scored. So Keane's coming over and yelling at him. Guy starts to fight with him and then smacks him in the face. He gets his own red.
Oh, boy. Well,
That's
that's just stupid.
I didn't know that was doable.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
grew up playing sports with twins who would fight all the time on the field with each other, and they would be hitting each other, but they did not get a penalty. So I always thought it was more like this is kind of funny, but I didn't know you could get penalized for it.
I yeah, I and from what I heard, Keane didn't even, like, fight the referee to, like, try to appeal it. He was just like, "Yeah, well, he hit me, so
Why would he?
that's that." Yeah, yeah,
I mean,
but,
Keane was doing the right thing. No, right? I mean,
Keane
just
yeah, y
you
yeah,
gotta
yeah,
defend. Can't give the
gotta
ball away in
defend.
your half.
No, you're right. These are big points, and they United were on a little bit of a run there, so nice, good for them for bending but not breaking. Interesting lineup here. So Cunha didn't get the start. Xerxes did, which I think threw some folks. Uh,
Yeah.
Bomo really didn't have much of an impact. I know a lot of folks brought him in, like me. So yeah, this was a very interesting game week because I think if I remember the overall average for the game week, the overall average was only 39. So this was a very low average score for the game week. There were some higher point totals though. If you had two or three of those players that got into the double digits, you were able
Could
to
have
make
had
up some ground.
huge, yeah,
But
huge jump.
yeah, so speaking of players who were on the higher end of those point totals, let's move on to player of the week. So player of the week is none other than the former Spur himself, Eberechi Eze, with 20 points, 3 goals, did not get the clean sheet, only 8 DEFCON, so no points there, but did get the 3 bonus points in 76 minutes. So, show off. As far as biggest flops go, I think first and foremost, obviously Mateta didn't even really get the chance to put any goals in
Yeah,
59.
that's not getting to 60 is I'm I'm hoping that something else happened. There was
Maybe he had a
injury
little
or
tummy ache.
he said something to the staff. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. I also wrote down Bomo, who I just mentioned, another midfielder with who had been in some pretty good form.
I think he was the highest transfer in, right?
I want to say yes.
I think he was this week and then 2 weeks ago, and he blanked 2 weeks ago. So it's
Yes,
the transfer
he
in
was the most
curse.
transferred in.
Yeah.
Yes, you are right. Yeah. So that one's tough as well. And then, I mean, we say it every week, like Salah again, it's like at a certain point, it's like he can't be a flop because you just shouldn't have him in your squad.
Yeah. I think it's safe to throw João Pedro in there too.
Hmm.
I think he was
Well,
on flop watch. He scored a couple games in a row, so that, it took the heat off of him. But against Burnley, it's when you really would imagine that they would score. He should score, and he didn't. So
I could see that argument. Maybe a little bit of fool's gold the last couple game weeks, but yeah,
WAP, I think the WAP scored for them today.
did. Yes.
So
Yeah,
maybe
nice little
he's in competition
3-0
at the top.
win. Yeah, Neto started up top though today, which was interesting. I think Delap came in as a sub. A little versatility there for Neto. Yeah, rounding out the team of the week. So Jordan Pickford with 10 points. Lots of Forest defenders in the back line. So Mario with 17 points.
Yeah.
Nico Williams with 13. Savona with 12. So goals from Savona and Mario. And then Nico Williams with the assist. Those over at Palace with 14 points. We mentioned he had the goal. Eze with his 20 points. Morgan Rogers 15 with his two goals. Excuse me. Harvey Barnes 15 points with 2 goals. Kieran Dewsbury Hall with 13 points with his goal and a clean sheet. Leandro Trossard 12 points with his goal, and Callum Wilson with 12 points with his 2 goals. So overall, 153 points. If you somehow manage to have all of these players, you crushed Jim's total this week. But if you had
Let's
none of
not
them,
forget. Let's not forget Minta. He's not in the team of the week, but hell of a player.
hell of a player. If you didn't have them, though, better luck next week. I'm honestly very curious what the total ownership is of like this set of players because like I'm looking at this, I'm looking at Munoz, who probably is pretty decently owned. I would guess
He's
Dewsbury Hall is maybe
probably.
on like a lot of folks' benches.
I think Munoz is probably the only one that's over 10%, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I can't imagine a lot of folks at Eze.
No.
I think the big transfer this week was probably, if I had to guess, was Gabriel out, probably to Timber. That was probably, I would guess, what a lot of folks did just to maintain that Arsenal defender, unless you already had Timber. But
Probably Pedro to Mateta as well, right?
yeah, I could,
Or
I
somebody
could
to
see that.
Mateta if you
Yeah,
didn't get him in the week prior.
yeah, or even like Pedro to Thiago, maybe just based on form. Yeah, but I can't imagine Eze was super targeted. That was kind of the silver lining to all of this, where the average, like we said, was only 39. So if you had a bad week, probably didn't get buried, but you
Well,
could have.
could have.
Yeah, but it happens. Sometimes you get a little bit roasted. Sometimes you get a little bit cooked every now and then.
You got to
You
know when to
know,
fold them.
just something. Every now and then you're gonna roast like maybe a turkey this week. Thanksgiving coming up. Maybe you'll toast a piece of bread. Maybe you'll toast like a bagel, or maybe you'll toast some chicken. And Jim, this episode is brought to you by Kenny Rogers Roasters, the
The
chicken
best.
that took over the Upper West Side, the legendary restaurant that was so bright, so overwhelming, and so delicious. It turned a simple New York street corner into an international incident. They're serving rotisserie chicken that is so good it has the power to destroy friendships, blind neighbors, and, in one notable case, turn a grown man into a nocturnal, chicken-scented creature of the night.
Because we're not talking about just any chicken. We're talking about chicken that's roasted until it achieves a perfect golden, almost celestial glow. It's the kind of flavor that inspires obsession. That moist, juicy meat, that crispy skin. It's a taste that made Newman throw his own principles out the window. It's the meal that you sneak into your own apartment hoping your girlfriend doesn't realize you've been eating it under the covers, in the dark, with a flashlight. So skip the Chinese food and stop confusing your friends. Find a Kenny Rogers Roasters near you and get the real good chicken. Visit realgoodroasters.com and use code TINKER for 15% off your next family meal. That's realgoodroasters.com, code TINKER.
Kenny Rogers Roasters. It's so good, you'll never go back to the other one. And back to the pod. Whew. All right. Now that I'm roasted, why don't we go into, I mean, we've talked about it a little bit, but let's just run through our point totals for the week. I'll go first. So I think I've got it up here. So I scored 32 points on the week, just running through my players. So Nick Pope gave me 3 points. I opted to go Reynildo. I was hoping Sunderland would keep the clean sheet. They did not. So he only gave me 1 point. I think he had a yellow card. Yeah, kind of hurt. Chris Richards, who was one of the players that I did bring in to replace Gahey, gave me the clean sheet and got the 2 points for the minutes played. Just missed DEF CON, which was a little bit of a bummer, but it's okay. Joe Roden gave me 3 points. Did get the DEF CON there. Dorgu, only 1 point. Didn't even get 60 minutes there, so that was tough. Mo Salah blanked, 2 points. Pedro Neto gave me a goal and a clean sheet, but he did get a yellow card. Got the bonus, though, got a point there, so that canceled out. Bomo blanked and got a yellow card, so only 1 point. I went with Holland for my captain, so he gave me 4 points on a blank. João Pedro gave me 1 point on a blank with a yellow card. Voltamade gave me 2 points on a blank. My bench, Dubravka gave me 2, Kudus scored 2, Van de Ven 0 with the 4 goals conceded, and Josh
Don't
King,
claim
who's
bench
still
points.
in my
Don't
squad,
claim bench points.
3 points. Well, they still count for me. So all in all, 32 points. Not great. Not great.
All right, I had 23. Tough. This might be my lowest point score total ever. Petrovich in
Ever.
goal with 1 point. Timber 5, Roden 3, Reynildo 1, Endoven 0, who I had started on my bench for Caicedo. Fortunately, Caicedo did not play, so Vendeman got subbed in. I got 0 points still. And Buemo 1, Soboslai 2, who I brought in this week, Saka 4, Isak 2, Mateta, my captain, got me 2 because he didn't make the 60, and then Holland 2. If we're talking bench points, I had Dubravka, who could have got me an extra 1, and then Stock and Esteve with 4 and 3 respectively, so I could have got more points there if I had played them instead of somebody else. So very, very low week. I think it's safe to say I'm cooked. I'm Kenny Rogers. I'm roasted. I'm just here for fun now. It's just going to be fun moving forward. Lighthearted.
Just vibes. Just vibes. I
Just
think if you
vibes.
play the long game here, you just got to have you got to net 4 to 5 points more a week than everyone else. That's a Minta assist every week. That's it. That's not
That's
crazy.
true.
That's,
That's true. Lord Tinker doesn't have Minta, so once I bring him in, that's like guaranteed
true.
returns.
That's
that are
true.
able to
Yeah.
ahead of me.
So looking at Lord Tink's squad, he did outscore us this week with 34 points. Did not beat the average, but he got the clean sheet with Sanchez in goal, 6 points. Pedro Porro blanked. Luckily, he actually came on, got 12 minutes of time, so that kind of worked in our favor. He also has Richards in his back line, so he got 6 points there. He's got Timber, who had an assist, so it's 5 points there. Goodmanson with a point. Bruno Fernandez with 2 points. Kudus with 2 points. His captain, Mo Salah, with 4 points. Jeremy Doku with 2 points. Evan Nilsson with 5 points with an assist. João Pedro with 1. He did have 4 points that we avoided from Mukiele on his bench. So luckily, Pedro Porro came in and gave him 12 minutes. Otherwise, those 4 points would have been added, and he would have pretty pretty clearly beaten us, which would have been tough. So yeah, that always stings a little bit more when Lord Tink beats us, but we'll try to do better next week. Okay, and then also just looking at our captain's draft. So we're gonna keep track of this every week. So Jim made his pick last week. He went with Mateta, and then, again, this is separate from our teams. So it just so happened that Jim actually picked Mateta. So Jim's total for
So happened.
the first game week is Mateta. So Jim has 1 point so far, and I went with Salah. I have 2 points. So right now his score is 2-1. So early look ahead, we've got game week 13, deadline on Saturday, no Friday fixture. We're looking at a 8:30 deadline, so no 7:30 fixture.
Yeah, no early game. Don't
First
love
game
that.
start at 10. Don't love that. People are going to be maybe still waking up from all the sleeping after Thanksgiving. I mean, Jimbo, I don't know if we need to necessarily go through each fixture, but maybe, can we pick out maybe what stands out to you on Saturday and Sunday here?
Yeah, so Saturday, I think the obvious one on Saturday is City hosting Leeds. Leeds have not been able to keep a clean sheet. Who you want for City, like we said, it's kind of a toss-up. I mean, Holland's the obvious choice, but who else from the midfield is going to chip in there? Honestly, you could probably pick anybody if you're going I wouldn't say pick anybody to captain, but I'm sure if you get any of the midfielders, there should be a good chance that you get some goals or contributions out of them. And then
Yeah,
probably, I don't know. I want to say Newcastle, Everton, but I mean, I don't know. Everton still keeps showing some fight.
they're
Newcastle have
fighting each
been,
other.
yeah, Newcastle have been scoring, so that's why I would say them. But Everton haven't been that easy to break down. So, and Spurs kind of tough to back them after that performance. I don't know. I would avoid them.
Yeah,
What about you? You
yeah.
break down Sunday. Who you got?
So Sunday, I mean, I think there's a very clear fixture that jumps out. It's got to be Villa versus Wolves. I think Villa are on a roll. I think Wolves are playing in the wrong division this season. You brought it up. Weird start time, 9:05. I don't think I've ever seen that. The '05. I don't know if that's maybe a typo in the FPL app, but you said it at the beginning of the episode. Are the Wolves fixtures going to become a trap for teams where they don't start their regulars, or maybe they sub their regulars off, maybe even before 60 minutes? To be very honest, they probably didn't intend to take Mateta off pre 60. They probably it just so happened that that's when the sub went on. But that can happen. I don't know. So that's probably. But when I look at this slate, I actually think this would be a pretty decent game week to deploy your free hit overall. Right? I look at you might want to pull 3 City players against Leeds. You might want to pull 3 Villa players against Wolves, and then maybe a combination of maybe I hate to say Liverpool against West Ham, but
You
like,
said it. You said it.
I know, I said it. I said it. It's so frustrating because like that's a fixture that they should
I should
should
put
be able to handle.
2 or
West
3.
Ham. I know. I know. Oh, yeah, I don't know. I I could see a lot of managers playing their free hit this week. I think it's in play. If I hadn't already used mine, I would consider it. I would consider it this week because you are also running out of time, right? You have to use it, I think, by game week 19, right? You've got, you know, 6 more game weeks to use it. And keep in mind, you've also got, 5 transfers coming in after game week 15. You're going to basically get a chance to rebuild your squad more or less in a couple game weeks. Uh, how useful will the free hit be, and how attractive will the fixtures be? It all kind of lines up. I don't know, but yeah, I think that's probably the fixture I would look to target. And then obviously, I think there's a pretty nice showdown at Chelsea and Arsenal. That's top of the table showdown there.
Yeah, that'll be an interesting one.
That'll be a fun one to watch. I mean, to be very honest, it's not going to be fun. I hope both teams lose.
I'm rooting
You
for
know,
a 1-1 draw with somebody who is very low ownership, scoring both
yeah,
goals.
yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
all goal
Maybe
on
like
each side.
yeah, yeah, with like a Sanchez assist or something. Oh no, Tink has Sanchez, but yeah, it's yeah. I don't know. I don't know. Sunday, I think I like Saturday fixtures. I like the Saturday slate more than the Sunday slate. So, as far as captaincy goes, who's on your radar? What do you think? I mean, you kind of mentioned it already, but put it on paper. What do you think?
Yeah, I think Holland is the one that jumps off this week. Didn't start midweek, so he'll be rested. Home against Leeds. I mean, it's almost risky not to captain him.
Hmm.
Then again, those of us that don't have anything to play for, maybe a little cheeky pick. I could see Thiago versus Burnley.
Yeah, that's where I was gonna go.
Yeah.
I feel like obviously a differential pick. I mean, Holland has kind of been that set it and forget it captain this season, and it's one of those things when he hits, great, you're keeping up. When he doesn't, okay, you're keeping up. Villa captaincy, I wouldn't feel comfortable captaining Rogers.
Yeah.
Not yet.
Definitely not Watkins.
No, no, not at all. Not at all.
Let me ask you this. Do you think it would be too risky to captain a Liverpool player? Because they've been
So
bad,
let's,
but
yeah.
West Ham haven't kept clean sheets at all. So, like, even with what Liverpool's been playing at, you have to imagine they'll score 1. Even if they lose
So
3-1, it's like,
yeah, yeah. I mean, I think if there was a Liverpool player to captain, for me, it's got to be Salah. Even when Liverpool have been, even as bad as Liverpool has been this season, Salah has been involved in their goal contributions. So I think if you wanted to captain Salah this week, it's a good differential captain. It's just risky.
Yeah.
Like, that's kind of the definition of a differential captain, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else
I think
on the slate?
it's your turn to pick the captain first, though, right?
Yeah. So this week I'm gonna go with Tiago. I'm gonna lock in those
Interesting.
lyrics.
Interesting.
I think he's gonna probably he's gonna penalty maybe.
All right. I'm going to go. Do I go with my head or do I go with my heart?
Which head?
The real one.
For our pod listeners, he's pointing, well, you can imagine. Oh, okay.
Oh, it's tough. It's tough. They're both differentials.
Boy. Are you gonna go Saka?
No, my head is telling me Isak,
My God.
but my heart is telling me Minta. I mean,
So wait, is Minta even in your squad right now?
no, doesn't have to be.
True, that's right. That's right. Yeah, I forgot the rules of this game. Um, okay.
I'm gonna go with my head. I'm gonna go with Isak.
All right. Isak it is.
But
Isak it
Minta,
is. All right.
no Minta, you're in my heart.
If love is the answer, this time you'll know. All right. So we'll see. We'll see. Can Jim, can he redeem himself or ream thyself from last week's atrocity? All right. We're getting close to the end here. If you've made it this far, we don't have the same outline of differentials at this point in time. But Jimbo, just off the cuff, I mean, is there anyone that you are targeting that maybe we have discussed in this episode? Obviously, we've talked about Minta, we've talked about Callum Wilson. I mean, are there any of these players that you're seriously considering at this point in time?
Yeah, Daddy Welbeck, Raul Jimenez, Ugochubwe. I mean, yeah, anybody.
Anybody? Boy, you're at that point. I mean, you sound so desperate, Jimbo.
I mean, I'm last in the league. I'm officially
Yeah.
behind somebody who started 3 weeks later than us.
Boy, yeah. When you put it that way, and this is his first season ever playing, right?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Kudos to Adam. He's crushing it.
Kudos to him.
Kudos to him. Yeah, I
Yeah,
know you have not
I'm done
loved
with
my
differentials.
differential. Yeah, maybe you should just stick to the template.
Let's hear what you have to say.
My differentials have been okay. I mentioned Chris Richards a lot. I mean, that's been
He's
a
injured
decent
though, right?
return. Is he?
I thought
He's
he
not
came off injured.
flagged. Did he? I don't see him as injured. He's not flagged in my name here. I I don't necessarily have. I don't know. I mean, I'm not. I don't want to say I'm not prepared, but I'm not. I don't really have anyone in mind at this point.
It's fine. It's still early in the week.
Yeah,
You know
it's
what? Well, let's
it's
put it on
tough.
the listeners. You guys find your own differentials.
Yeah, yeah. Drop a comment. Let us know who you think is a good differential this week. And by us, I mean let Jim know who to pick this week.
And let us know what you're thankful for.
Yeah, we definitely want to know that.
Yeah, Richards came off injured on Saturday, but I guess
I
he's
don't
not
like
flagged
that.
anymore. So
Maybe just hurt feelings. All right. Just as we always do, we'll take just a minute and we'll look at some price rises who are on track. So looking at Bournemouth, Truffert, defender on track to rise in the next day or two. Edward Cullen over at Burnley. Your boy Minta on track to rise. Casemiro over at United. Bournemouth keeper, Dabaslai, Chalaba over at Chelsea, Tavernier, Josh King, Nico
Tavernier.
Riley, all on track
what could have
to
been?
rise in the next day or two. It's obviously, it's a little bit earlier than we normally look at these. So, it's a little bit harder to predict, but a lot of these players are at least 90% of the way towards their price increase. So they're well on their way. Now, looking at the other way, so Sheshko is already met the threshold to drop. Bernardo Silva, Jordan Pickford, they are on their way to drop. Let's see here. Lenny Yoro. Isak is also on his way to drop in the next day.
Lenny Yoro. What a long face he has.
Super long. Sangare, Milenkovic, Mudryk. Who still has him? Interestingly enough, Mo Salah is 80% of the way towards his drop. So if you didn't get him when he was a little more expensive, maybe you'll get him on the cheap. Who knows? All right. So I think it's a little early, but I think Jim, you kind of mentioned some of the transfers that you're maybe targeting. But I mean, is there anyone? I think at this point, maybe the conversation is not who you're bringing in, but maybe who you're really looking to move out. So can you maybe mention or talk a little bit about who you're looking to move out at this point in time?
Really, the only one that is Anton Stock is flagged head
All right,
injury. I think he got maybe a concussion. I don't know what they call it over in England, but um,
it's a knock.
and I he's the only one that I would be considering moving, but I could start a full lineup without him, provided that Isak actually starts and Caicedo starts. I think I'm actually gonna hold this week. I can't afford to take another hit. I did take a hit last week to bring in Szoboszlai, so I mean, Kudus didn't get any points, so kinda worked out, but still a negative, so I'm not gonna take a hit to do anything more substantial than that, so I'll probably hold this week.
Might be the move. Maybe do less, right?
Yeah, let Jesus take the wheel.
Jesus take the wheel.
Thanksgiving
Or
turkey,
maybe
take the
just
wheel.
maybe keep it in park. I am kind of in a similar boat. I only, I don't really have any I don't have any money in the bank. I only have one free transfer to make. Really the only player that I'm really not thrilled with at this point in time is probably Dorgu. But when I look, I don't even really have to start him this week. I can start a squad that I'm actually pretty decently happy with. So maybe I use that as an opportunity to actually move off of João Pedro and actually move on to Tiago. So that might be my move this week.
He started at 4, right? He's 4-2 right now?
Dorgu,
Yeah.
he's 4-2. He started uh no, he started at 4-5.
Did he really?
Yeah, he's dropped in form quite a bit. Yeah.
I thought he got a bump, then had been stagnant.
Doesn't look like it, yeah. My challenge with him, honestly, is, he's got Palace in 13, but he's got West Ham and Wolves in 14 and 15. So I could very well see myself starting him in either of those game weeks. But I don't want to go into game week 15 with transfers in the bank. I want to get 5 transfers refill my tanks. Maybe this week I'll move out João Pedro for Tiago. That's probably, or maybe Danny Welbeck. I don't know. I'll have to see. I mean, the money should work
You
out
gotta get
even with
well,
João Pedro's drop. Well, with the fixtures this week, I mean, Brighton's playing Forest, who just looked phenomenal, and Brentford are playing Burnley, who are on a little bit of a skid, right? Burnley in their last, they are a relegation team. They lost 3 out of their last 5, 3 in a row, actually. They've let in 2 goals, 3 goals, and 2 goals. So that would probably be the move. So not going to lock it in right now, but that's probably where I'm leaning. So
I like it. I like it.
we'll see where we end up. Now, I do have to disappoint some of our listeners, so couldn't help myself. I love AI, big AI guy. Can't get enough of it. And unfortunately, I actually used up all of my ChatGPT credits today. Just couldn't help myself. So,
What were
Lord
you working on?
Tinkerton's,
Let the people know.
I will be very honest with you. We are finishing, my wife and I, we are finishing our basement, and we are going to put a TV down here. TV is, they're kind of commoditized now, and trying to take advantage of some of these African American Friday deals. Uh, Doing a lot of research on certain certain brands and different technologies, LEDs and QLED and OLED and micro LEDs and all this other crap. So I use ChatGPT to help me research when I'm trying to do some comparison shopping. Yeah, ran out of credits. Go figure.
Good
Okay.
for you.
Yeah. So yeah, I will. But we will definitely we'll do our diligence. And tomorrow night when I am very busy prepping our Thanksgiving feast, I will make sure to to use those rebanked credits and get that transfer suggestion for Lord Tink's team.
Are you hosting?
We are hosting, yeah, just a small intimate affair, about 11 of us. Nothing crazy, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of turkey, and a little bit of gravy.
A little bit of brown?
A lot of bit of brown. I honestly lately I've been really loving wine on Thanksgiving. I feel like that's the move. More tryptophan, tryptophan and wine. Not boxed wine.
Jug wine.
Hmm.
Carlo Rossi.
Me and my boy Carlo. Yeah, so yeah, You're not hosting, right? You're attending.
I'm attending.
What is your real quick for our listeners? What is your favorite Thanksgiving dish?
I mean, stuffing is yeah.
Do you just do like the base, like the bear stuffing, or do you do not like bear's the animal, but like
No, I've never had bear before.
no, like in my family, my mother she'll put like sausage in it and stuff like that. You ever have that?
I think we've had nothing crazy with like olives or
Who the
like
hell's doing that?
oysters. You've seen those ones. It's like
Oysters.
yeah, nothing like that. No,
I'm if I'm having oysters, I'm just letting them slide right down into me. I'm definitely not baking them into stuffing. Oof. Yeah, I like stuffing. Stuffing's good.
stuffing's great. Stuffing's
Where do you
great. It's
stand
kind of a
on
shame we only have it once a year.
where do you stand on the cranberry sauce? Do you like the canned or like the whole cranberries better?
Honestly, I'm not a big fan of either.
What do you have against cranberries?
I like it on a sandwich, like a leftover sandwich, a pilgrim with everything. Then I would go for the jars. But during Thanksgiving dinner, I never take it.
Do you think it's appropriate we name something after like something that we mutilate and digest after the pilgrims? Don't you think that that's kind of, you
What's
know,
named after the pilgrim?
well, like a sandwich, something that like we eat, we chew, like, don't you think that's kind of disrespectful?
No, it's honoring them, like a
I don't, I don't
porterhouse,
want to be woke,
like
but
a porterhouse. You think that's disrespectful to Mr. Porter and the home that he built and we named after him?
I mean, that's respectful to Mr. House,
What's different than
Eddie House. I don't know. Um, yeah, I don't know. Well, for our listeners, drop it in the comments. What's your favorite dish? What dish do you hate? I'm not really honestly a big turkey guy. I like the dark meat. The white meat,
I like the dog one.
yeah, you cork soaker. And that takes us to the end of our second ever mega ep. If you've made it this far, thank you for listening with us.
You're one of 9 people,
9 is generous.
2 of which are
Uh,
us.
As always, you been listening? As always, please do go like and subscribe. We're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube. Drop us a comment. We talked about captaincy picks, differentials, what you're thankful for, your favorite dish, what can you do to help Jim's team out, and shout out to our mini league, movers and folks sitting atop our league. Speaking of our mini league, it's still not too late. We'll drop the code in the description as always.
If you
And once
join, you'll
again,
be
thank
ahead
you.
of me.
That's not saying much. And I, for one, I never really said it. I am thankful for all of you listeners. And thank you for joining us on this episode of Tinker Time. Again, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and drop your captain picks in the comments. Until next time, happy tinkering.
Draft dreams rise like morning sun, chasing points, the game's begun. Big decisions week by week, fantasy glory's what we seek. Pick your squad, the